all right. Hello, my boys and girls. We're welcome back to another episode of the Back Bar Funhouse. So I'm here
Do you
with
call us the Back Bar Funhouse?
the Back Bar Funhouse. I like
You're definitely Pat Sharp, man.
it. So yes, it is myself, Skywalker, Captain Fun, and then the two party poopers, Martin James and Johnny Gemmell. So how are my
Judge.
boys?
Hello.
Hey, awesome. A wonderful Wednesday or whatever
Wonderful.
day you're listening to this. I hope it's also wonderful.
Just enjoying the
Yeah.
fact that this is natural light for the first time in a long time. It's just natural light for the podcast.
I actually had a barbecue for dinner tonight. Got home from work and it
Ooh,
was like,
nice.
yeah, just crack on some burgers and some hot dogs. So no vegetables or anything that was healthy for me, just pure meat and
Good.
bread.
What a
Good.
man. What a proper old school guy. Just
Yeah, I
So that's a
didn't,
real barbecue.
yeah, didn't feed any of the family. Just me. Just sat there with one burger and one hot dog.
Aye, they get
Man.
I
past it.
could.
It's just you out with your wee chef's hat apron and nothing else cooking up a
Yeah.
salad for yourself, man.
Try to
Aye.
kid us on. You only had one burger and one hot dog.
Yeah, that's it. I just ate at a time, then I went for my
Please.
second set. Yeah, I
You
didn't
need to
just
wipe your
stuff my
face,
face.
mate. You've got ketchup to go.
I almost went like that. But no,
But you're
it's
saving it for
cracking.
later.
Yeah, it's that feel good factor with the sunshine. So
Mm.
if someone's probably listening to this and it'd be pissing or rain, it'd be like, "There's not a feel good factor." So, but
Not if
yeah,
they're the one listener that stays in Abu Dhabi.
mm,
Mm.
They'll get
but,
good food over there. But I don't know
yeah,
if they
well,
enjoy barbecues, are they? I don't know.
yeah.
Good,
I
the rules are that
Well,
strict.
we'll send the sunshine vibes through the airwaves. But what's the hippity hap? What's been happening, my boys?
Oh, that's been happening.
Not much.
When was the
Well,
last time we did one of these?
a
I
while
don't
back.
know.
But I think
A month ago?
Minnie's going to be fucking Thor for the summer by the sounds of things. Anyway,
I know.
he's proper going at
Look
it.
at those
Yeah.
heaps.
And I just wish you don't shit yourself when you flex. So
I'm clean at the moment.
clean. You
Um,
got one of those. What is that thing when you get the colonoscopy when you get the tube up your bum? You being
no, it's called a nappy.
Is it? All right. Okay.
So,
Yeah.
so yeah, just hitting the gym with big shout out to Dave Tuck, best PT in the south side of all of Glasgow, at the world, whatever. Yeah, really enjoying it.
Dave Tuck. That's such a proper. Hi, I'm Dave Tuck, personal trainer.
That's it. He always tells me as soon as I walk in the gym, the first thing he talks about is he's got twin boys that are I think 9 months old, and he just tells me about what shit they're
Oh.
doing that morning. So he's like, "Oh yeah, the wee man's done a big shite." I was like, "Mate, I'm just kidding." Like,
the big guy's about to do a big shite in a minute. So.
he's like, "Get me off this fucking cross trainer, man." But yeah, it's all good. Healthy mind, healthy body, and all that.
Yeah, brilliant. What about you, Gemma? You just barbecues and beers the same as me?
Barbecue's not been out as much as I'd hoped. Yeah, been away a few weekends, been up in the Highlands and stuff. So it's definitely getting brought out this weekend.
Oh, nice. You've
For
got you've got what's the name of yours again? It's a bad boy.
the Kamado Joe.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah, that big boy's getting whipped up on Saturday. Cooking up a storm for Mr. James and his good lady.
Oh, nice.
Whoop,
That's
whoop.
my
Yeah.
invite must be in the post somewhere.
It is. Have you not? Well, if it arrives by Saturday, you're welcome.
I've got things on actually, so maybe this time next year I'll be available.
There's
I was
it's
going to
not
say,
enough meat for us three absolute carnivores, mate. Like, it's not enough.
I'll get something with all three of us when like the wife and kids are away.
Oh, sounds good.
Naughty,
I could
naughty.
take my wife and kids too, but big shout out to this weekend. If while you're barbecuing, I'll be celebrating a good friend's wedding. So I think on the last podcast I told you about the stag who shat himself for 4 days. So hopefully he's got the cork in place and he'll be all good. He'll be all good to get married this weekend. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah, big Nicky Burke. He's getting married this weekend. So hopefully it looks like the weather's going to be unreal. So
Yeah, it's looking good for this weekend.
hope the big guy has a good one anyway. So I'll have
Happy
a good
days.
time. I'm going to have a good time.
Party time. You were at a wedding last weekend as well, weren't you?
True.
Oof.
Again, I wasn't. It was one of those ones where I didn't know what to expect because I didn't know very many people there. I knew the bride and the groom,
How
and
many new best friends did you leave with?
Well, not many. It got a bit wild. Let's say. I don't want to go into too many details, but let's just say a lot of people like to party. So,
Say like a lot of people like to party, and then it was just you with your tie around your head, shut off, middle of the dance floor.
Yeah.
Don't really know anyone, but fuck it, I'll just take the clothes off.
And I was still the tamest guy there. Yeah. So, but it was a cracking day. Now I have to say, in terms of speeches, they were awesome. The groom is so articulate and such a great public speaker. Like none of this is that he just like as if he was just talking to like his mom and dad. Like he just is so good. And then he had he had like 8 groomsmen and 2 best men or something like that. But they did like a kind of dual speech, and they really bounced off that. So not tip of the cap to them as well.
Congratulations.
Two best men sounds like a shite number. I've heard
I know.
Easy way to go these days.
It's the magic number.
These what you're after, unless used to fuck about, and there'll be one, and it'll be neither of you.
Well, you better just count me out because I'm all about fucking around. You're talking to the wrong guy, my man.
Just save me a kilt hire.
Hey, I'm fucking coming no matter what. But anyway,
so you don't know where it is or when it is, or maybe you do.
Yes, before I get myself uninvited from this wedding, would you like to know what's in store for your listening pleasure tonight?
Yes, please, Mr. Raleigh.
So, for those who are either regular listeners or this is your first time, at the intro you would have heard a nice jingle, let's say, but that jingle actually comes from somewhere, and that comes from the very talented Tom McGuire and the Brassholes. So tonight we have the face of that. We have Mr. Tom McGuire himself coming in for a chit chat.
Awesome. His stuff is amazing.
Oh yes, he's a funky dude.
Very rad.
Very rad is a great word to describe him.
Rad. That's
like that.
Yeah.
Right, we getting him on?
Yeah, let's get this dude going.
You're the man behind the music.
Right, welcome Tom of Tom McGuire and the Brassholes, who, if you Google the band name, they will tell you that they're a funk soul powerhouse from Glasgow. So there's no really better way to introduce somebody. So welcome, Mr. Tom McGuire.
Thank you. Yeah, you'll be aware that terminology was written by me because I write my own. You write your own press releases, man. That's how you can get a press agent. You're writing your own press releases. So
I love it.
Funk and soul powerhouse, though I do say so myself, you know. I've written that myself.
It's a perfect way to describe you anyway. Anybody yeah. Yeah, so how have you been anyway?
Okay, pretty good. Life is vastly different for me than it has been more recently because I've just had a baby 4 months ago. Oh. So I'm properly settling into that right now and just observing how all my priorities have changed in a fundamental and quite beautiful way. So pretty good in general.
I almost said, "Oh, what a nightmare for you," but then I probably said that's probably about it. I was like, "Congratulations" as well. My mouth was going to say, but my brain was going, "Oh, nightmare." So I've got 2 kids, so I know exactly what you're going through.
I was going to say you're just saying nightmare because you're a bit further along the experience than that.
Exactly. So
that's the thing. I mean, I think. Immediately before we had the kid, I was absolutely shitting myself. I thought this is going to be fucking terrible. So it's only a wee bit terrible, which is quite a lot better than I expected. So I'm fucking laughing. You know what I mean?
Don't worry. Once they start walking about and speaking for themselves, that's when it gets 10 times worse. Right now, you're on an easy streak. So
yeah. I'm aware of this. At least I have that awareness.
They develop their personality and their attitude pretty quickly.
Exactly. Yeah. So, right, before we have a silhouette of mothers over our shoulders giving us into some sort of grief, I will hand you over to the very capable Minnie and Gemo, and they will quiz you on what's been going on.
I like the fact that you call those both capable. That's quite the compliment.
I know. I thought we're being nice. We're being nice tonight since Wednesday.
Thanks, mate. Thanks. Before we start talking about the band, music, all that sort of stuff, it's very rare that one of our guests is, like myself and many, a St. Ninians alumni. So before we get into all that kind of
Right.
the other stuff, who was your favourite teacher?
Oh, it's got to be okay. Here we go. It's got to be Mr. McKinnon, the music teacher,
Oh yeah, I remember him.
or Johnny Cummings, the techie, the graphics teacher. Both
Wow.
those guys are absolute legends. Johnny Cummings, I've met at a wedding not that long ago. So he and I had a nice conversation. It's funny meeting teachers who at the school you went to, and then you meet them as adults. It's like, oh, you're just a guy. You're just a guy as well.
Yeah.
But Mr. McKinnon, the music department, he was a bit of an inspiration now for sure. He was music teachers in a school, they're just doing their job. But this guy, he did have some passion, and he had some particular flair about him, and he played like an absolute mean boogie woogie piano. And there was a number of times, I recall this, a number of times that we were in, like, I don't know, standard grade or higher music. And then instead of just doing the class, he just, maybe we'll just have a jam. So we just got the people who are sort of capable at playing music, we just fucking did a jam. And then the people who couldn't really play, he just gave them like fucking triangles and shit like that. and I remember thinking that was absolutely rad. And the guy absolutely fucking slayed it to death on the boogie woogie piano. And as I understand, he owns a restaurant bar on one of the islands somewhere. And I've written them into one of my songs, actually. One of my songs.
Nice.
I've written also, I don't know if you remember the maths teacher, Mr. Ford.
Yes,
I've written him. He's in one of the songs too. So both of those guys get a mention. There you go.
That's class.
I thought it was like I thought you'd have been looking at an Adele Dasty for a song, to be honest with you, or a Geraldine McCrory, who I've got maybe a different story about meeting them as an adult when I was trying to fire into on the shed one night.
Oh bloody! Stop it, you! Stop it!
And don't worry, he stormed off in an absolute huff when she was dancing with her boyfriends.
Oh dear! This is really super relatable chat, lads. I'm loving it. I hope this reaches far.
I hope it doesn't, man.
Oh man.
No, that's class. So I suppose getting school out the way, first things first, new album out in February, Stay Rad. Tell us a wee bit about it.
Cool. Stay Rad is our second record, and it's a fucking good record. It's a good document of where I was in my life at the time, and it is most certainly a record of like crisis and recovery. With lockdown, but even pre-lockdown, I was having my own sort of crisis, my own sort of creative crisis, and this everything to do with identifying as a musician and then not producing music, and that can cause all sorts of sort of horrible stuff to happen. And you just like identify with anything, any particular kind of career or archetype, whatever, and then not living up to that. That's something that can cause you all sorts of quite brutal mental health issues, I think. So that's something all I could do was write about it. So I've written an album about that crisis and the recovery from that. And at the end of it, it's a fine piece of work. It's called Stay Rad. It does a lot of talking. One of the themes is that it's talking to past and future versions of yourself, try to analyze yourself and try to analyze how to live well and how to be well. It's definitely there's a lot of focus on mental health and a lot of explorations of various ways to live well and be well, especially as a man. This is another thing. It's like I'm sort of giving you the spark notes here, but it's a deep record with regards to that. However, all the actual music this is the sort of thing we do, is we have got like super high energy, fun funk, but the songs themselves are pretty dark and pretty serious and pretty meaningful. We sneak them in, we sneak this dark, heavy stuff in packages of super extreme rad funk. So that's what we've done. That's what we did with the first record, and that's what we've done with the second record, and that's more or less the MO. It's super hardcore, topics about existential grief and mental crises, but packaged in super consumable, fun, high energy, rad funk. That's what it is.
I like it.
Yeah.
High
It's a
energy.
pretty
Right.
good mix.
Meant it.
So what the band is there 8 of you in the band?
Yeah, eight of us on a good day, and on an excellent day, maybe 14. On a like super ultra special occasion, like 30 of us, man. Like the last thing we did there,
Wow.
there's 8 core members, but for the bigger shows, we would add like a trio of backing singers and maybe a percussionist. But for that last big show we just did there, and now we've sort of set a precedence for myself, so I kind of shot myself in the foot a little bit. But for big shows, I now have introduced a choir. So
Wow.
and sometimes dancers. So at one point in the last big show, there was 30 people on stage, all doing something. So yeah,
pretty impressive pulling all that together.
I'd be good with being this guy here.
Yeah. On a bad day, we got 6.
How did you get the core 8? How did you all come together? So to be, I guess, a pretty sizable band.
Aye. Well, it came together in dribs and drabs, but the original core, what happened was we started. There's, I guess, 4 of us were busking on Buchanan Street. Just some pals got together and said, "Oh, let's busk on Buchanan Street, try to make some money during the Commonwealth Games," which is that 2014, was it? Was that 14? Mm-hmm. Anyway, yeah, we were busking in the street there, and I think it was just drums, keys, guitar, and 1 saxophone. And then a couple other brass players walked past, the trombone player and a saxophone player, and I think they'd met one of the guys already once before, and they just decided to join. And that was the sort of nexus point. That was the birth of it, really. That's the band that was there that day gelled together really well, and that was the beginning of it. And we busked all summer and made what we thought at the time was quite good money, but actually probably was like, I don't know, 60 quid a day in coppers. But at the time, I was very new to doing music professionally, and I was like, 60 quid for fucking singing in the street. You having a laugh? So that was the beginnings of it, and then we started doing pubs and then doing weddings, and then we did that for a few years, and we were adding members until we got the sort of the proper core 8, and then just quite late on in the sort of the story of the band, we started doing our own music. I sort of tricked the guys into doing my songs for a couple of gigs, and then it went down well, and it's just gone onwards from there. It's gone onwards from quite close to the start of it. It's surpassed what I thought would happen with the band. So at this stage, it's blasted through the ceiling of what my expectation was, maybe 4 or 5 times by now, and it keeps doing so. Keeps doing so. So maybe that's saying something about my sort of tempered expectations, or maybe that's saying how fucking rad the band is, bro.
So
somewhere between.
What were you doing before the band then?
So I was actually, before the band properly kicked off, I was studying at university, and I was just finished the 3rd year, a 4-year course to have a quite sensible career in health sciences. I was going to be a radiotherapist, so I was going to be working in a hospital 5 days a week, 5-6 days a week, and I was super close to that. But it took this kind of leap of faith to quit that sensible and stable career choice, which I think I would have been good at the job, and I think I would have enjoyed it a bit. But I was hating it at the time. I was quite miserable at the time, and I was doing some quite good stuff with music. Like I said, on the streets making 60 quid a day, that surpassed my expectations. So I was like, I've got to see where this is going to go. I've got to this thing was saying, you're fucking hating this career path, and you haven't explored this other thing, which is radically more unstable. And probably not a sensible thing to do, and not a sensible endeavor to embark on at your age, but you fucking got to do it. So I did do it, and it's thankfully it's going all right. Because if it wasn't going all right, I don't know what I'd be doing. I might be Deliveroo, probably Deliveroo if it wasn't going well.
I was going to say it'd be quite hard to be kind of ripping your top off and throwing it into the crowd if you're in the radiotherapy room, like with, and, like
yeah, that's not going to fly. It's not going to fly. Yeah, so that was it. I've actually that sort of circumstance, that phenomenon of like quitting that and taking the leap of faith and going into music is kind of fittingly it's the first song on our debut record. It's called Get Out, and it's got a bunch of references in it, and it's like a verse or two it's full of references that the only people who've studied radiotherapy will get.
That's pretty neat. I was going to say it's very niche.
Super niche.
Jeez, though.
Talking about kind of niche, then, what I have to say, like the one song that the three of us, obviously it's not the song that we've got in our intro for the podcast, but the one song the three of us absolutely fucking love, Ric Flair.
Yep.
Of course, yeah.
Obviously not what's the inspiration, because the inspiration would be Ric Flair, but what made you choose Ric Flair as someone to base a song around?
It's actually kind of arbitrary, and there's nothing to it really. We used to play. Me and the guys used to play a lot of jam sessions. We used to host jam sessions, and like an open stage, so people can come up and play, and it gives people a chance to play with other musicians and stuff like that. So we would host that, and when there wasn't people playing, I would make up songs just fucking on the spot. That was just my thing. I would just make up songs all the time, and 8 out of 10 of them they were all right. 2 out of 10 were shocking, but I would just like pick a topic. I'd say pick a topic, right? What am I singing about here? And somebody said fucking Ric Flair, and I was like, right, done. And so I knocked that out, the chorus for that song. I knocked it out on the spot, and this probably says something to the immediacy of the sort of creative process. If you just fucking letting stuff fall out, sometimes that's the best stuff. And somebody said that's cool. You should remember that. I said, oh, okay, well, I suppose I will then. Otherwise, I would have just like forgot it, and it would just disappeared into the ether, like 500 other songs that I've made up on the spot about bullshit. But thankfully, somebody said that was good. Remember that. So I think I sung it to the phone. Who's that? and then I went home at some point and then exhumed it and wrote it properly. And I'm thankful because probably without that sort of springboard, that starting point, like I say, I'd be doing Deliveroo. I'd be doing Deliveroo.
That was it, because you've got over 1 million listens to that on Spotify.
That's right.
It's insane.
I am. I'm putting quite a lot of effort into making the newer material become more popular in that. And there was a wee moment there where a couple of the new songs were overtaking that in a sort of day to day. And I thought, good, because it's nice. It's good to have a good thing in the past, a good thing you've made. Yeah. I'm very proud of it. But I am wanting to make sure that I move on from that, and people are aware that there's more than that, because there's fucking a lot more than that. That's the most ridiculous, stupid song I've got, and it means at least, like, I've written 100 of songs at this point, and they all mean something quite important, and they all have like some sort of palpable and proper important message, and that's the one that means the least, but that fucking everyone loves it.
It means the most to me. That's my go-to song for going for the shower in the morning. That gets me fucking pumped for work.
That's it. I mean, that in itself means a lot. That means a lot. And I'll never sort of detract from the power that just a daft and good fucking bop means to people. That's a meaningful thing in itself. Just an instance of stupid, silly fun. Like, that's super important. That's super important. As well, but I am trying to, usher the other ones that I've got to sort of overtake that. But then in the league table, so like we've got the Spotify for Artists app, and you can see which one's doing better, which one's doing better. So for a while, there's a couple of songs that were doing better, and then Ric Flair, and we were like, "Yeah, come on, guys, come on, you can do it." And then eventually, like, No, fucking the sheer stupidity and brilliance of Ric Flair just jumps ahead. We're like, all right, okay, that's fine. Yeah.
That's brilliant.
No, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. And that's the thing, because we were talking about it, because I think we were all talking about Ric Flair and we were all really enjoying it. And that's why when we came up with the podcast, was like, we need something catchy for the intro. And that's why we were listening through some of the other songs. We get Ballad of MC Sick Boy, and we're just like, that's the one. That's when I was there capping. Tom, can we use your song, please?
Yeah, that's funny. You know what's funny about that is we don't really play that song anymore. It's a great song. It's a nice piece of work. But I look back in that song and I'm like, I could edit that. I would edit that if I was writing that down. I would chop entire sections of that. My songwriting's got a little bit more mature, right? And I think you're just using like the intro for it, like the instrumental intro.
Yeah, so that's
I chop that off. Get out of there, right? Get out of there. But the reason I would do that is because it doesn't really serve the song that much, because it sounds like a theme tune to a chat show. Right? That's what it is. It sounds like a theme tune to a chat show. So that's why I would remove it from the song. But then that's precisely the reason that I think that you've chosen it for your chat show.
It works great for a podcast intro.
Aye, that's it. It's like, okay, on today's show we've got fucking that's it. So but like whenever I hear that, we might, if we do reintroduce that into the set, we'd probably just chop that bit right out, and because every time I hear it, I think, okay, that's a bit fucking chat show, isn't it, lads?
So now it's not a chat show. Now it's going to be like, that's those wankers in the back bar podcast. Like, chop that out. Like, get into that.
Yeah, that's it.
With us having used that, have you been approached from any other sources to use any of your songs on like credits or anything like that, or is there any show or TV show or movie you'd love to like have one of your songs attached to?
I would love to have it in anything really, any TV show and any movie, because honestly, like a wee sort of peek behind the curtain of the music industry. If you manage to get that sort of thing happening, that's where you actually make some fucking money, publishing for having your music on a TV show or a movie, or as a theme song for like a TV show or whatever. It's that's repeated over and over. You're making so much money. Like the guy who writes the jingle for the 10 o'clock news or Channel 4 news, that guy's a millionaire because of that jingle, So I would, for that reason, I would love to have any piece of my music utilized in anything, right? That's more or less how it is. So I would make more money off of having my music as a theme song for a fucking a serialized BBC show than I would make in 10 years of shows, I think.
Well, maybe instead of chopping the Sick Boy intro, lengthen it and get it on Graham Norton. There you go.
Graham Norton, that's it. That would be I could retire probably with just royalties from that and live comfortably.
The intro for the new Philip Schofield show, if you want to. We guarantee to get a bit of publicity.
Topical reference.
Yeah. Very topical, good to it.
The news.
Moving on from Philip Schofield.
Aye, moving on. So obviously with the Ric Flair, just last week we had a question on that as well, because I seen that it got to him, like he'd actually listened to it as well. So it must have been surreal for him to be like, was he on Twitter or something? He was kind of commenting on it and stuff.
Aye. He's the sort of guy, he loves adulation. He loves odes to himself. So he saw it and he was like, "Oh, thanks for the respect, boys." So that was quite a boon, Like this is also, remember that this is right at the start of our sort of little bid for success, and it couldn't have happened better from the start, really. To be honest, we were this close to flying to fucking Georgia and playing at his daughter's wedding. I don't think the daughter, who's like wrestling champion, but one of his daughters was getting married, and we were going to play at the wedding. But we had another wedding to play in fucking East Kilbride, so we couldn't.
Oh no! I would have totally pulled a sickie on that one. Like, sorry, Hen.
Yeah.
Forgive us.
Hell.
I mean, there's a lot more to the sort of story. It's like, okay, well, you have to try and get visas or just try and flag it in. So there's a number of things, but also mainly, my contractual obligations were paramount in this situation. I'm an upstanding man and I'm professional.
Brilliant.
See, in fairness, I'm getting married next year, and see if like you get the opportunity you were playing at my wedding and you get the chance to go and play for Ric Flair. I would tell you go and play for Ric Flair. Like, I think
honestly,
that couple were selfish, if I'm honest. So,
well, honestly, like I didn't say to them, like, do you mind if we don't do your wedding? We just like fucking, we did that. We just thought, okay, we should do the wedding, and then we'll say to them. We said to them, we actually got offered to fucking go to play Ric Flair's daughter wedding, and the bride was like, you fucking what? Well, you're here. I was like, yeah, we're here.
hell, man.
That's mad.
Hating life, sitting with a guitar like that, going, I fucking hate you right now.
Yeah. But no, they appreciated it, and it was all good. Like, it was going to be, it would be 50-50 if we actually got over there and we didn't get stopped at customs, going through customs with, guitars and fucking all that sort of shit, and say, are you musicians playing at a wedding by any chance? And they say yes, and then you fucking, okay, well, you can't, so get back in the plane. One of those. Americans don't fuck about, I don't think. So
No.
any number of things could happen.
Jesus. That's crazy.
So on the kind of journey to become the funk soul powerhouse, who's been the kind of biggest influences behind the songwriting? Obviously, you said a lot of the songs are quite personal to your experience and stuff, but what's been the kind of influence behind the style, etc.?
Yeah, you know what? I think it comes from a couple of different areas. Like musically, it's a Stevie Wonder thing, and it's a James Brown thing.
Okay.
And some other influences like the Meters and Tower of Power, all kind of within the window of kind of original fucking OG funk. That's where it comes from musically. But I think what I'm doing, which is laying down some real like hard, real meaningful songcraft in there as well, because quite a lot of songs in that kind of realm of music, that kind of genre, are just about dancing or shagging or money or just being cool, right? Literally just being cool. That's what these songs are about. So it falls into a number of categories, but there's never any like sort of meaty fucking, oh shit, what's he talking about? Songs like you find in like country or folk, or rock to a certain degree. So I think in a sort of in a songwriting sense, talking about the lyrics and the actual song itself, that's coming from a different area. That's coming from a sort of country mode. That's coming from a rock mode. That's coming from a kind of maybe indie mode. Like there's a number of different things that I'm accessing, which I don't know if a lot of people are doing. I don't know if there's a lot of people doing what I'm doing, which is combining that kind of musical force with actual fucking real songs.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
It's easy. But leading on from that, so Chivas Regal whiskey, right? So
yeah.
What the hell, man? I just seen on, I think it was on your Instagram as well, that you get your cooting stuck right on top of one of the big things. What's that all about?
Well, fucking beats me, mate. Fucking knows. So somebody got in touch saying they're a fan, and the artist, it's like a street artist. He'd been commissioned by Shabazz to paint a mural on this thing. So there's three, whatever they are, casts or whatever they are, and each one's got a different artist who's done a different representation of a person from the Glasgow, scene or scenes that represents this idea of rising up from kind of being downtrodden or being down, some sort of downfall, and then rising back up again. And I think it's come from a lot of the material in my songs is about fucking mental health struggles and like sort of darkness. But alas, I'm seen on a stage just absolutely fucking as a beacon of hope and rejoicing. So that's sort of, I think, where he got the idea to ask me if you could paint me on this. My sort of story, my sort of persona fits with that narrative. So he asked me to do it, and I said, yeah, of course. And sounds great, but of course it's quite a complicated, complex experience for me having that up there, because I definitely feel like a fraud at the best of times. I feel like like, why do people think I'm fucking good? Why do people listen to this record? Why do people fucking come buying tickets to my shows? What's that all about? I just sort of naturally sort of devaluing myself and thinking, why the fuck? Oh god, this just makes me feel even more of a fraud than usual.
No. You
And
can't get
the
fraud
funny
if your
story,
face is stuck on top of a fucking, I don't know what you call it.
yeah, you should. You certainly can feel like it. You can feel like it. And the funny story is, like, people were speaking to me about this fucking thing, and my stock response was, "Oh, it's amazing you're on that big fucking thing." And I said, "Yeah, it's making me feel like more of a fraud than usual." And that's my sort of first sort of self-deprecating kind of throwaway line. Just that's a fine thing. And everybody's like, "Oh, no." But then my saxophone player, right, Mateus, the saxophone player in the band, he said, he's Polish. He says, "What's that? What's that fucking thing with your face on it? What's that all about?" I said, "I know, yeah, it makes me feel like more of a fraud than usual." And he says, "Yes, you should. You don't deserve that." I'm like, fuck. The guys, the most two of the point sort of, matter of fact guy you've ever met, and so yeah, he's like, I'm already pretty grounded, but he keeps me under the ground. You know what I mean? Fucking hell.
That's insane. What was the name of the street artist that done it?
A guy's called Michael Corr. Michael Corr, Corr. I think you can find, he does all sorts of amazing stuff, so you can find him on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Check him out. There's a shout out for him, Michael Corr, artist. The guy's a monster.
Nice.
We look for him.
Yeah.
So coming up later in the year, you got some pretty big live shows.
Yeah,
happening.
That's right.
Whereabouts the shows going on then?
Cool. So we announced our next Glasgow show, which is the biggest one yet. Which is, to be honest, I'm astounded that we have announced it, and astounded we are, keep escalating and keep growing. But it's going to be the 1st of December in the O2 Academy, which is it's fucking hell of a venue.
Nice.
I've seen James Brown there. I saw actual James Brown there. So we're playing there.
Nelly, I seen Nelly there with a wee plaster in his face and everything. That was the last time I was at the O2.
Yeah.
And the next time we'll be seeing Tom McGuire in the Brassels.
Yeah, please do come. Aye, nice. And also, if you're listening, please do come, because I've got a great many amount of tickets to sell. So if everyone listening to this can bring, just, on the back of this, buy 10 tickets for each of your friends, and then tell them to buy 10 tickets, then, maybe you can tell that I feel some level of anxiety as to whether I'm going to sell this fucking thing out.
Just by the way, we're not promoting any kind of Ponzi scheme here, right?
No.
But buy tickets. Buy tickets.
The first of December, O2 Academy. It's going to be the biggest and best show from us. Like I say, every time we've done a show, we've escalated. The last time I added a choir. I think for this one, now you heard it here first. For this one, I've got a number of months in which to consistently perfect a standing backflip. So I'll be fucking dropping backflips on the stage there at O2 Academy 1st of December.
A standing.
You heard it here first. I've said it now. So
said it now, exactly.
Let me tell you guys, I'm not close to it. It's fucking hard. I thought I'll get that. I spent half an hour today doing this, and I'll have it. It's like, fucking nowhere near me. Fuck's sake.
So that's not assisted. So there's not someone helping you twirl over and holding on to you, so you don't.
No. On the day, it's got to be. And now, if I don't manage, I hope this conversation gets forgotten. But on the day, it's just got to be like, watch this. Put guitar down. Whoosh. Like that.
Let's hope we don't go viral for falling flat in your face. So
well,
let's put pressure on you.
That's the thing. All publicity, all virality is good. So if I can snap my neck off, then that's all right.
Oh man! Right. Well, on that note, what we'll do is we'll give you a little breather before you give out too many secrets. And we'll move on to what we have, what we call our zeros and heroes. So each one of us will pick a zero and a hero, and then you'll hear what we have to say, and then you get to be the judge, jury, and executioner of who is.
Okay, my wife's just informed me there that Tina Turner's died.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Fucking hell!
There you
There you go. Anyway, on to the quiz.
On that happy note, right. So, zeros and heroes. What would you like to hear first? Do you want heroes first or zeros first?
Let's go positive, shall we? Heroes.
Go for the heroes first. Right. Gemel, do you want to lead us away with your hero for this week?
Yes, I would absolutely love to. So this is a story about a man called Gert-Jan Oskam, 40-year-old Dutchman, who was paralyzed in a cycling accident 12 years ago. And now, thanks to electronic brain implants and a second implant in his spine, he's actually now been able to start walking again. And he's able to walk upstairs. And so he's not my hero, though. My hero is Professor Jocelyn Bloch, who's a neurosurgeon who actually put this all together to get this guy able to walk again after 12 years. And it looks like it's still in trial stage, but it's actually got him being able to walk upstairs, and it looks like it could hopefully be some sort of hope for other people in his condition. So, bit of a hero for coming up with something like that.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, well, you're getting barred from this. He's got the biggest fucking sub stories every week, you know. So you're getting a timeout next week. Anyway, Jamesy, what have you got?
Well, Tina Turner for music, but that's just broken, so that's not it. I'm going to go with Kevin Sinfield, who's an ex-rugby league player, and his best pal, Rob Burrows, has been diagnosed with MND, and he's in a pretty bad way with it at the moment. But he's raised about 8 million now for the MND research and charity. But he also completed the inaugural Rob Burrows marathon in Leeds, and he actually pushed his wheelchair the whole way around the marathon and carried him over the finish line. And it was a really emotional moment seeing him carry his best pal over the line. And I think just the effort he's put in, and he's done. This isn't the first thing he's done. He's done hundreds and hundreds of different like Ironman events and all this. And he's done
was it 7 marathons in 7 days and 100-mile runs and all this kind of shit.
It's crazy, and just the fact that he's raised so much money, I just thought the guy's an absolute champ. So he's my hero. What about you, Ali?
So, well, mine is nothing in comparison to you two smashed it. But anyway, so mine is a guy called Michael Block, who at the USPGA at the weekend there. So he's a tour pro, but he actually is just a teaching pro. So he qualified to play for the USPGA. But smashed it out of the park, and he was getting like the Cinderella story. He was up near the top of the leaderboard at one point. Loads of press, loads of focused attention on him, and he did amazing to finish in the top 10, which means he gets invited back next year. But what was the best part about it is under these pressure situations, especially when you're not used to it, is you just fold and you cripple. And at the end of the tournament, he had in golf, it's called up and down, had a hard chip shot and a putt to do it, and he nailed it out the park effortlessly. And I just thought he chose the life of being a teaching pro because he wanted to spend time with his family, didn't want to go traveling, but have his moment in the sun and get the recognition for obviously someone that he's a good golfer. So he is my hero for this week.
I actually toyed with him going for him as well. You didn't mention his hole in one either.
Oh, of course, yeah, I forgot about that. He got a hole in one, but it was just such a great story. I think he even got invited to the tournament this week as well. But it was just a great sports Cinderella story anyway. So, but anyway, so Tom, you get to decide who's the hero of the week.
So I need to decide who's the hero. Well, fuck, that's hard. I mean, the golf guy is pretty heroic, but it's a different and slightly lower level of heroism than the other two lads here.
Yeah, I'll grant that.
Well, fucking the brain scientist guy, that's well heroic. That's well heroic. He is a hero, as all scientists are. All scientists are trying to do that stuff. They're all breaking their backs to make some sort of change, right? So I think all scientists are heroes, right?
Okay.
But listen, the rugby guy, he's doing some sort of actual physical heroism. And yeah, that's the guy.
Let's go
That's
for
the
it.
guy.
Well done. Well
Back in the
done.
W column.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, I'll give you that, Minnie. He is
Thanks.
pretty awesome.
Have you got a sort of a league table of who wins these things?
Yeah, we're not talking about it though. So
There's a wee bit of a gap. But,
yeah. So and
That's good.
my
I think
name is at the bottom of that. So
I have
but
to
anyway,
say the Kevin Simfield one where see when he picked up Rob Burrow and as he
Right.
was carrying across the line, he gave him a kiss. I was just like, oh fucking
yeah, I don't think
bubbling
it
up,
was
man.
a dry eye in the
Nah.
whole
That's
universe.
it.
But so anyway, we will move on to the zeros. Jamesy, you want to go reverse order?
Yeah, so it's actually a kind of joint one. So I'm going to go with a small number of Valencia fans and Javier Tebas, who's the president of La Liga. So Vinicius Junior was playing. He was getting racially abused all game for the 100th time this season. And again, to the point where he gets sent off, a guy was choking him. It was just horrendous. His coaches asked him if he still wants to play. So the whole racism thing's horrendous. In this day and age, it should never be an issue. But he made some tweet about it to try and fight and say that shouldn't be happening. And then the president of La Liga came out and said, well, you missed a meeting where you could have told us what we should do about it. I was like, the guy's a footballer. Like, it's not his job to educate people on what's appropriate to be kind of communicating and what racism is and what to deal with. And I thought the guy just showed zero class and tried to play it almost the blame culture. It's like, it's your fault it's happening. And it was sickening, man. It just should never be happening now. So fuck the pair of them and whoever else says.
Fuck him.
Fuck them
Yeah,
all.
that's
Fuck the man. Fuck the man.
Right, Johnny, who have you got?
Mine is a kind of generic one. There was the crash in Cardiff the other night that sparked a riot after the police were following the lads in their electric bikes, and the zeros are the police because they have taken until later on today to actually admit that they were following the kids after CCTV footage came out, and they'd initially denied it. So my zero is the police because they're meant to be the ones that everybody can trust to be upholding things and setting the standards. And if they can't do it, what can they then expect from kids like that who didn't seem to be doing anything particularly wrong either? And there's been a whole heap of shit come off the back of it. So the police for their dishonesty when they should be the ones that people can trust.
Very good morning.
So mine this week is the people that manage the Marvin Gaye estate. So recently in the news, they were suing Ed Sheeran for copyright of one of his songs, saying that was a likeness or similarity to that. But they've had previous with this as well.
It kind of is, though. It kind of is.
But the thing is, obviously, you as a songwriter, you'll know that there is only a certain number of chords, certain number of beats, words, putting them together if they're rhyming songs or interluding them together. But they've also had previous with this before, is that they sued Robin Thicke and Pharrell for their song as well, and I think they were given 7 million and then reduced down to 5 million. But I just thought in a song that was written in the 70s that obviously, right, Ed Sheeran, you can always say that there is a little bit in it, but is it that, do you listen to that and just think it's let's get it on? I don't know. Maybe you have to have a trained ear for it as well. But I just think if you're going around suing everybody, so Tom's hating me on that.
Oh, it's tricky. It's tricky. It's tricky. It's tricky. But I've got some shit to say about this one. It's tricky, but I've got some shit to say.
Okay,
right,
fire away. So that's my guy. Yeah, that's my guy.
Cool. Well, so I think the Marvin Gaye folks, that's not that clear cut, and we'll go into that. The police. That's tricky because the police who did the thing, that was annoying. But it's really the whoever's in charge of PR at the police, So it's a tricky one, man. It's a tricky one. It's like fucking yes, fuck the police and all that, but also like it's kind of too easy to say fuck the police. That's a reductive kind of stance, and to say that the police are the zeros in that situation is, I don't think, a helpful stance. And the overall topic of whether the police are a good or a malevolent or benevolent institution. So anyway, without getting into the complexities of that, because I want to get into the fucking the Marvin Gaye thing. Let's finish up and say that the others, the Valencia fucking guy.
Clean sweep for MJ.
Nice, clean, nice, clear zero right there. Clear zero.
There we go.
Now, if you'll indulge me, and I can talk about the fucking Marvin Gaye thing, right?
It's yours, mate.
I'm a songwriter. Songwriters, it's true. There's only a set amount of chords. There's only a certain amount of notes. There's only 12 notes to work from, and there's stock chords that you like. I observe them like, okay, I play a chord sequence, like that's the chord sequence from this, and like, okay, you know that there's set sequences. It's fine. There's blues is 12-bar blues, which has been used fucking tens of thousands of times. There's the 1-5-6-4, the fucking Axis of Awesome chords, right? The fucking this one.
Here we go.
Yes.
Live show.
So those 4 chords, which have been responsible for like fucking about, well, probably every
Oasis song.
no Oasis song, but all the big soppy hits that you can think of. It's a thing, right? There's a 4 chord sequence which has been utilized. So yes, you can't copyright a chord sequence, but I think you can argue that a vibe and the way the chord sequence is played, you can maybe argue that's thing, and kind of okay. Is the shape, is that whatever that song is? It the same as Let's Get It On?
Well,
but it's very it's very.
Thing. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Let me get to it. It's very similar. It's very similar, but is it the same? No. But the thing is, see, Ed Sheeran is doing this to just pushing the boundary across every single song. Every single song you can identify. He's lifted that. I think it's as close to plagiarism as you can really get. And sort of popular music. Every song you can kind of quite clearly identify what the thing is lifted from, And I lift things too. You lift things, you do stuff, and it's like kind of an homage or an ode, and it's like you're respecting that thing. But I think he's pushing the boundaries a wee bit. And also Robin Thicke can fucking fuck off.
Well, I think it was for their song that they were awarded it because Pharrell had, I'm going to say confessed, but said that they were listening to one of Marvin Gaye's songs and they said, they liked the feel of that song. So
as the feel.
Pharrell went on and started playing a tune and like a feel for it, and then Robin Thicke said that they wrote it in half an hour of the song, and but because Pharrell said, we'll listen to that. And they took the feel from the song. They were granted 5 million or 7 million, but it was reduced down to 5 million. I think that's
yeah. It's tricky. It is tricky. It's a blurred. It's literally the blurred line. It's that one's. That's why it's such a contentious thing, because it's it's absolute cutting edge. Like if you were just to turn up tomorrow in the studio and like sing "Rocket Man" by Elton John, but with five words changed. Then you'd be like, right, sorry mate, that's fucking Rocket Man. And then you're like, okay. But that one is like that when you sample something for hip hop or whatever, you sample something, you have to pay for that sample. But they haven't sampled it, they've just reproduced the very, very distinctive groove, which I would argue, a lot of people would argue, is the meat and the potatoes of the Marvin Gaye song, and is the meat and potatoes of the Robin Thicke song. The song itself is there's fuck all to it. The thing that everyone likes about the song is the groove, and the groove is the Marvin Gaye groove. So that's why the argument is in the cutting edge. Can you copyright a chord sequence? No. Can you copyright a melody? Yes. Can you copyright words? Yes. Can you copyright a groove? I don't know, man. Maybe.
I don't know. I think we're going to run out of music here. Your industry, they'll just be sitting there. I don't know what they're going to be doing. They're going to have to invent a new instrument or something like that. So,
no, but it's hard because you can't define it so well, which is why there's going to be court cases and stuff like that. It's like I mean, country songs, country music just employs the same chords, the same groove all the time. But what's going on there is it's all about the song, it's about the storytelling there. Whereas it's popular music. I think if it's popular music, if it's Pharrell, if it's fucking these guys in the room, like fuck them. I think.
Fair enough. Right.
Yeah.
So before we end all, we'll start a nuclear
Before
war
you two
somewhere in
start
the music. Exactly. just as well it wasn't face to face. Anyway, so what we'll do is we'll move on to our speed round. So Tom, we're firing questions at you. 10 thinking questions, we'll call it, speed questions. So first answer that comes to your mind, you just hit us with an answer. So you ready to go?
Yeah, let's go.
Right. Okay. So first question is, what is your favorite holiday destination?
Oh, Rossland, British Columbia, Canada, Red Mountain.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Very nice. Yeah. What's your biggest fear or phobia?
I am afraid I have an extreme aversion to, and probably a phobia of small anonymous bits of metal, specifically jewellery and earrings that are loose. If they're on a person's body, it's still fucking gross. But if they're loose, like on the table, that fucking yuck.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've not heard that before, but that's cool.
That's definitely
It's a me thing. It's a me thing.
That's a first. That's a first.
That is a first, definitely.
I haven't heard of anyone else having it. It's a me thing.
Just a sidetrack. We had a weird one about people having a thing about ketchup. So people just didn't like this ketchup thing. But anyway, that's so who is your most famous person in your phone?
In my phone. Shit. Well, I've got the emails count.
Yes.
Well, I've got Matt Willis from Busted.
Oh yes, nice.
Who else am I pals with? Yeah, that may be it. I did have what's that Glasgow comedian's name? Fucking Bridges. Bridges. I did meet him one day. I met him at a late night bar that I was playing in, and he said, "Oh, listen, mate. Oh, we should hang out again. Here's my number. I was like, "Fuck it, I got Kevin Bridges' number." But I think it was a fucking bum number.
I know. 12 digits in it.
Hold on. Let's see if I can find the conversation. Kevin.
Is it just you saying Kevin? Hello?
Hey, Kevin. That was funny because he was steaming. He was about to get married, and I've been playing this late night bar. So I was like, right, cool. I fucking had a pocket full of business cards. I was just putting business cards in every single one of his pockets. We're hanging out all night. It was good crack, but I was like, fucking, I want that wedding gig.
Oh yeah.
The kid probably woke up with like 40 fucking business cards.
That's that guy for the whiskey place.
Right. What would be your alternative career? I think we've covered this already today.
I mean, radiotherapy or Deliveroo.
All right. Who's your favorite superhero?
Shit. I don't know if I really cared for superheroes until Optimus Prime.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, that's a belter.
That's a first as well.
Who is your idol?
Probably Stevie Wonder, aye.
Okay. If you were invited to a party, if you could invite 3 people, dead or alive, who would you invite?
Stevie Wonder, Optimus Prime, and Freddie Mercury.
Oh, yes.
What a dinner party that is, man.
That is good. I like that one.
The fact you've got Optimus Prime, you don't even need to worry about a taxi at the end.
Yes.
Exactly. yeah.
That's class. All right. Stranded on a desert island. You can take 3 items. What do you take and why?
A satellite phone.
That's thinking.
A satellite phone and fucking a crate of beers and a fucking ice cooler.
There we go.
Oh.
That's a party. Give me a call if you're out there. So,
yeah. You're gonna pick me up though, will you?
Get Optimus Prime over, he'll come and get you.
Well, we have the next question. If you had a boat, what would you name it?
Jenny.
Okay. For Forrest Gump.
Exactly.
Right. Last question. Would you rather give up your favorite food or your favorite drink?
Oh,
Favorite food. Because I don't know if I have a favorite food, and then there's always top 2 or 3. But my favorite drink is beer, and I fucking don't want to do that. Don't get that.
Yeah. Well, that's
yeah.
you.
Oh, but fire away. Favorite foods. Get that fuck out of there. See you later, lasagna. Bye, lasagna. I don't need you anymore. Fuck off. Fuck off, lasagna.
Just on your wee desert island with your beers, lad.
I don't need no lasagna. Right, well, you passed 10 out of 10. Well done, Tom.
Cool, nice one.
I hope there's a song on the next album called "Fuck Lasagna."
Listen, I'm looking for inspiration everywhere, so why not?
A beer with Optimus Prime. That's the next one.
Both of those, I'm noting them down now. That's good.
Or a beer with a robot.
Our estate's going to sue you, mate. So.
You're saying our estate is? Does that not mean we're all dead?
Aye, well.
Aye, that's
probably.
Had a good run.
Well, that's pretty much kind of wraps it all up from us. So, Tom,
I got a question.
Oh, sorry.
Right,
it does not actually. We'll retract.
So we have been putting together our Back Bar podcast playlist on Spotify, where we're getting all our guests to nominate their kind of go-to tune. We've actually already got a couple of yours on there. So feel free if you want to nominate one of yours and one of someone else's. We'll take two.
Okay, sweet. Right, I will nominate Unshakable by Tom McGuire and Brassos.
Okay.
And then somebody else's. Fucking hell. Let's go. Kicked in the Teeth Again by AC/DC.
Yes.
Is that what it's called? Yeah. Kicked in. Oh, it's off of Power Age. Kicked in the Teeth. Yeah, Kicked in the Teeth by AC/DC.
Brilliant.
Just picked out of the air there. Picked out of the air.
Yeah.
Like it?
Stuff.
Fucking brilliant.
So,
yes, lovely.
So that, as I said, that will now eventually wrap it up. So, Tom, as I said, best of luck with everything that's coming up. We will definitely, 3 of us will be front and center at your show in December. We'll be the ones with full of beer and no. Yeah, exactly. We'll be there with a pillow. So
yeah, great.
Yeah. We'll have lots of beer in us and no tops, so you'll be able to spot us a mile away. So
nice one, perfect. That's what I like to see.
But no, best of luck. Hope it all goes well. And
thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
Looking forward to catching up.
Thanks for coming on, mate. Brilliant.
Awesome. Good to chat.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. Hey, cheers, guys. Nice one.
Bye, mate. See you soon.
Thanks, buddy.
That's good crack.
That man has a lot of energy.
A lot of energy and an awesome beard, man.
Oh, beard and hair. Like I was just looking. I was like, I grew my hair last year, and just how insignificant my hair is now. But then I'm not in a rock band or a funk band, whatever you want to call me. So being a quantity surveyor Monday to Friday doesn't constitute for having long rock hair. So, but yeah, I'll just live the boring life. You can live the cool life.
Yeah. Oh, that was good. It was so good to get him on finally, seeing that we bumped his song.
Yeah.
We won.
I know.
It's taken us, 2.5 years to get round to.
Yeah.
That's that 2.5 years we've been doing this.
Must be at least,
It was about just over 2. Yeah, I didn't far off, actually.
Jesus, man.
It's not good that the song that he gave us, he fucking hates. So
why he gave us it?
Yeah. He's like,
I'd get that intro to fuck.
Exactly. So I was thinking of getting rid of that song. So, but
sign it over to us then.
As long as he's not tallying up the royalties and going to hit us with a bill soon.
I think he'll be all right.
We'll just hand that over to our accountant. Can you deal with this, Mr. Gemmell?
No one's getting any royalties, man. No one's getting any.
Make that disappear. Give us one of those Starbucks things where they don't pay any tax. You deal with that.
I'll be honest, man. See, as soon as you started talking about your zero and being Marvin Gaye, I just seen his face. I was like, "Oh, Alan, you made a fucking massive error here, man."
I know it is. I just see what the thing is. Every time that I've seen you idiots do that is where you actually pick something to topic of what you get the guests on, and I seen it,
You
and I was like,
idiots.
this'll maybe, because you'll be like, fuck plagiarism, fuck all these kind of guys, but that 180 on me big time. So just as well, I was going to knock him out anyway. So. Nah.
That escalated.
Yeah,
Let's get dirty people on stage. They'll kick fuck out of you.
yeah. Fucking.
He's got
It's
dark-
a fire boy.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen to you.
His 9-year-old, 9-month-old baby would kick the fuck out of me right now. So, but for anybody that is listening, so it was Tom McGuire and the Brassos, December the 2nd.
December 1st?
First, sorry,
No.
December 1st. So go. I'm sure it'll be Ticketmaster. You'll find it. Just Google it. Tickets.
Go
December
check
Glasgow.
Check out Tom's Instagram. I'm sure there'll be.
Instagram. There'll be stuff
be,
there. So definitely. Tom McGuire and the Brassos. It is what we described as a funk powerhouse from Glasgow. Can't get better than that. So
They're awesome.
we'll be there.
Latest album, Stay Rad, and I know he's one pushing that, but give yourself a wee guilty pleasure and listen to Ric Flair because it's a forecast.
Ooh, who's that? Over there. Woo!
Yeah.
Sound away.
Sounds better than Gemmell singing it, but
It's good gym music, by the way. See if you're wanting just you're beginning a bit of running or just getting your warm ups up, just get a little bit of funk in your groove.
1st of December, go there for a good time. And
Anyway,
we'll be there too to cause it, so good times.
Like pause it until 10 o'clock, and then we're going the fuck home. So
Stay rad until 9.
And by 8, out by 10.
Anyway, so again, gentlemen, absolute pleasure. Many congratulations on Gemmell. Fuck you for everything. But anyway, I love you both, and we'll catch you soon. Laters.
Stay gold.
Guys, see you later.
Bye.